Hey first grade friends, it's Mrs. Burns Con here, and we just finished talking about how teaching pictures teach our reader about the topic we're writing about. So we are inside of our blue ELA spiral, so if you have this at home, go ahead and grab it, and we are working on our writing task for Native American powwows. Let's go ahead and read our reading prompt again, and then I'm going to show you how to draw a really strong teaching picture with labels inside of your picture rectangle. So it says writing prompt. In Native American powwows, we learned that some Native American groups celebrate their history and culture during festivals called powwows. Write an informative piece or paragraph, sentences that teach, to describe what a Native American powwow is like. Be sure to include at least 3 key details from the text. So we already talked about what we could teach our reader. We know that a powwow is like a festival. We also know that at powwows, Native Americans do a lot of dances, and those dances are almost like storytelling through movement. They sell food like fry bread and corn soup. A lot of people also weave baskets and do carvings and then sell those at that festival. So I'm going to take some of those facts that I learned or key details from the text, and I'm going to drop them into my picture rectangle so I can teach my reader about Native American powwows. So I want people to understand that a powwow is a festival, and festivals have lots of people. So the first thing that I'm going to do is draw lots of people. We also know that Native Americans at powwows dress up in costumes. They don't wear their regular clothes like their t-shirts and their pants. They wear costumes. So I'm going to draw these Native Americans at the powwow in costumes because they wear these beautiful costumes while they're dancing. If you need to draw a quick body, you can always draw a head, a circle for a head, and then almost like an oval for a body. And then we can stick on some eyeballs. I'm going to make this person's mouth open because they're singing some of the songs. And then I want him to look like he's dancing. So I'm going to put his arms up in the air, and I'm going to make his legs look like they're moving a little bit because he's dancing. Now remember, he has to wear a costume. So at these powwows, a lot of Native Americans have these beautiful headdresses that have feathers on them. We might even give him a vest. So now we've got one member of the Native American group that is at the powwow dancing. Let me add some more. Maybe we've got a woman, again, circle for your head, almost like an oval shape for the body. And then again, she's dancing, so we're gonna put her arms up in the air, and we're gonna make her legs look like they're moving. And let's put her in a beautiful headdress with lots of feathers and then some ribbons hanging down, because in the text we saw pictures, and in those pictures some of the women were wearing lots and lots of ribbons hanging off their dress. So here's the ribbons. I can go back later and add more detail and make these ribbons colorful. Right now I'm just doing a quick sketch. Okay, and then maybe her dress has some designs on it. And let's add maybe one more person that's a drummer, because I know that while some of the people that are dancing, somebody else is making the music. And so here's the body. We're going to draw a little drum, and then the arms are going to be playing on the drum, and here's his legs. Again, he's dressed up. He's wearing a costume. This is not what he normally wears. This is not what he's going to the grocery store in, okay? And I also want to show a little bit of the setting. The setting is where this is taking place. I know this is a festival, and at festivals we have lots of tents. So the tents are there usually for people to buy and sell things. And we read in the text that people like to make fry bread and corn soup at these powwows, and people might make baskets and carvings to sell. So I'm going to draw myself a little tent. You'll notice I did a little triangle, then just the sides or the walls. Give myself a little table inside the tent. And how about some baskets that somebody wove? Because baskets, woven baskets, are sold at powwows. We learned that from the text. And maybe I'll put a little sign on it that says for sale. Okay, so now that I've drawn my picture, to show what a Native American powwow looks like, including some details from the text, now I need to go back and make it a teaching picture by adding labels. Labels are words that tell us what is in our picture, and you have to add labels for people to know what they are. Oh, I also forgot to give my lovely Native American woman some hair, so let's give her some beautiful braids. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to label my people Native Americans, because the people that participate in powwows are Native Americans. So Native Americans. And you know what? I know how to spell that because it's right here inside my writing prompt. So I don't have to raise my hand and ask my teacher how to spell Native American. It says it in your writing prompt multiple times in Native American powwows. It's right there. But since there's more than one Native American here, we know we need to use suffix S at the end to tell us there's more than one. And I might even draw some arrows. This is a tent. I want to label the tent so people know it's not somebody's house. It's a tent that's probably outside. If I'm not sure how to spell tent, I'm going to say the word and I'm going to stretch it as if it's on a rubber band to hear the sound slowly. Here I go. Tent. Tent. Now I'm going to write down the sounds that I hear. Tent. I hear the t sound. T makes the t sound. I know that's a vowel. It sounds like E, short E like elephant. N. Tent. Ten. I hear the N. Tent. And I hear another T at the end. Okay? Another arrow to point right to my tent. And then I want to also label my baskets. Ooh, baskets is a little bit trickier. I'm going to have to clap that out. Baskets. It's 2 syllables. Baskets. I'm going to stretch out each syllable and write the sounds I hear. Ass. Bass. A is giving me that ass sound. Bass. S. Baskets. Kits. 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 K. I hear I. So if you write I wouldn't have a problem with you. It's actually E, but if you hear the sound, that's kind of how we say it. Sometimes that happens. Basket, basket, but I've got more than one, so again, suffix S. Arrow pointing to my baskets. Okay? So we have just drawn a teaching picture that shows people what a Native American powwow looks like. We know Native Americans will be dancing. Ooh, and let's make some musical notes coming from this because we forgot to label our drum. And we can label our drum. Drum. So without even writing any words down here in our paragraph, somebody can already look in our picture and have a good idea of what a Native American powwow is. Go ahead and take your regular pencil. Don't use colored pencil or crayons yet. Use your regular pencil in case you make a mistake. And start drawing some of the details inside of your picture rectangle to teach your reader about Native American powwows.